on the playing park overall, it's been very good for us, and I think that we've improved and we will improve in future seasons. It is going to be difficult, but I think Lynn hit the nail on the head. It's all about attitude and belief. You've got to believe when you go out and play against the other sides. You've just got to believe that you can win, and I think we are getting there. Okay, let's see the teams the two Lynns have picked for tonight. Here we are, Gavin Henson, is playing well. The two Flyers, Sevilla and Ted Blanche. Story and Tweedy, be interesting to see how they go. And then O'Connor and Williams. O'Connor starting to play like he can play. As ever with the Ospreys, there'll be plenty of mobility around the park. Nobody is more mobile than Barry Williams at hooker. Kevin Morgan coming back, Wyatt needs to play well. Musto, David James, Flyers. Johnny Bryant gets over the gain line, but it's number 10 again, old Jinx, that's pulling the strings for them. Yep. Robert Sidoli in the second row. He's been sent away from the Welsh camp just to get some rugby under his belt, play some minutes. It seems he's got quite a serious pelvic problem, and well, he needs to run his way through it, I suppose. Well, there we are. There we are. Here we have it. The Warriors preparing. Who do you think are favourites tonight? Well, I don't know. It's very tense. Very tight, yeah. It is very tight. Perhaps Stuart and Gareth Charles in the commentary box will be able to steer us through who's going to win this.
Well, that's an interesting one, Stuart, and we had so many talking points last week in the Scarlets against the Warriors that they've brought you back this week, so you can have even more of them, and it could be just as interesting tonight. Yeah, I'm happy to take more of the same. I thoroughly enjoyed last week's fair. Looking forward to this one tonight, and the guys are right, it is a tough one to call. I think Lynn Jones has had a very difficult couple of months. It's probably been new territory for him, as it has been for many of his squad, but you can't underestimate the morale in the camp as a result of a win like they had out in Munster. That will have done them the world of good, but they're up against a very settled, very effective Warriors side tonight. Attitude is what Lynn Jones said. Attitude is always what you have from Celilo Martens there, the Celtic Warriors scrum half. But the men in black, the Neath-Swansea Ospreys, are the ones who'll have to show it in front of their home crowd this evening as they try and claim that fifth and final European spot, or fourth and final European spot, I should say, for next season out of 5. Barry Williams has led the resurgence because they've won 3 from 4, and that since Barry has taken over the captaincy. Andy Lloyd, he suffered so many injuries, such a promising player, but he's played the last few games, and as we saw at the top of the programme, Elvis Sebayali, 2 tries in Munster last week, shows how he can finish. That's the mix here, and an interesting one for the Ospreys. Yeah, it certainly is, and Andy Lloyd, part of a very young back row, has taken on a very effective Warriors trio, as we saw last week, and I'm looking forward to seeing Andy Lloyd play. A lot expected of him, haven't seen much of him. Big opportunity for him tonight. Well, a new name for me, for a referee in charge this evening, Marshall Kilgore from Ireland. And watch out the Sheriff if last week's refereeing decisions are anything to go by, because he certainly came under fire at the end of the game. Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's Sean Connor to get things underway and trying to catch the Warriors unawares. Mama Molitika couldn't gather, but it had been knocked on by James Story. But that's the kind of thinking you associate with Lynn Jones. Not the tried and tested and conventional, but something a little bit different from the outset. You wanted to unsettle the opposition from the start there. Didn't quite pull it off, but always worth a try. Well, Warriors with a significant weight advantage in the scrimmages as Gareth Wyatt tests Gavin Henson early. Frosty-haired Gavin Henson this evening. Celilo Martens couldn't gather. Sebayali looking to capitalise. He can't control the bounce either, and Martens makes up for his earlier error, and he needed to just a metre or 2 away from the try line. Could have ended in disaster in the first minute for the Warriors. And Neil Jenkins looking for all the world like an accomplished scrum half with the over-the-shoulder clearance kick.
Well, it could have been a great start for the Ospreys there. It's all about the bounce of the ball, really. Seviali, a couple of tries last week in similar fashion.
Your mark. Let's maintain the gaps, please.
Martin so effective, fouls that one up. Seviali on it straight away, little chip and run again. Didn't get the bounce.
Andy Newman has been the backbone of the Ospreys pack this season. That's Dave Tuetti. And it'll be a real big battle between Tuetti and Bryant at 12 this evening. Turnover ball, and there is John Bryant replying in kind. Both inside centres, straight runners, but there could be a few players out wide. The ball, though, past Robert Sidoli's right ear. And what was a promising counter-attack for the Warriors just fizzles away into nothing in the end.
Gentlemen, don't
I
take
think
his legs. Okay.
we can keep our eyes on this game. They could well develop into a high-scoring match.
Yeah, and in the midfield, Gareth, you're right. I'm not sure where the vision is in that foursome, but it's going to be pretty uncompromising, I should imagine. Hard running, hard tackling combinations with both sides.
Well claimed by Matthew Rees.
Yes.
Martens.
No advantage. Knock on.
And it was from the line out that the knock-on came just as well for the Warriors. And, well, Cirilo Martens has certainly taken a clout early on.
Engage.
Yeah, some scrum halves you try and get to early on as a back row. I think they'd be better off leaving Cirilo Martens to get on with his game, actually. Fairly abrasive character.
Stay on, stay down.
Andy Williams to Sean Connor. Steps inside his man well. Corey Harris tracking across. Williams looking for runners, finding Andy Lloyd.
Roll away, tackle.
He just gets over the game line. And again, ball presented well for captain Barry Williams to take on. Story, Connor. Plenty of defenders out wide, so it's Tim Evans who took it on, a loose head. Story trying to step past his man. And plenty of possession early doors for the Ospreys. Change of tactic that time from Sean Connor. And a disappointing one as it goes out on the full. They've done well recycling the ball, not making that much headway in terms of distance downfield, but that's when patience comes into it, and they ran out of that.
Yeah, over-egged the kick there. Perhaps no room for the grubber kick through, but it's a safer bet if you're going to look for that touchline.
Daniel Jones with a tap down, but it was bad ball for Martens. And Richard Bryant doing the cleaning up work. That's a tester from Neil Jenkins, but Bryant can't get onto it because he and Seviali are down in a bundle on the floor. Well taken by Gavin Henson. Oh, good recovery from Sean Connor. And nice hands from Tuetti to Seviali as well. Fine support from James Bater. Connor to Tuetti. Williams outside him. Horsman waiting.
Stay on, stay on.
Both teams, and the Ospreys in particular, challenging and looking for gaps. Henson trying to be creative with the inside ball for Andrew Millward. And the visiting defence offside in midfield. But it is a very encouraging start from the Ospreys.
Yeah, I'm particularly encouraged by Barry Williams looking for the ball so early. That's what we want. We want front five forwards who at least offer themselves as options. They don't always have the ball, but he's there. He's carried twice already, and it's the bread and butter work that you need.
Yeah, hold on.
Barry Williams trying to lead by example in these early stages.
Yeah, you know, some players do respond to that additional responsibility. Some go into their shell, but certainly in Barry Williams' case so far, he seems to have relished the opportunity to take over from Scott Gibbs.
Gavin Henson, third in the kicking table in the Celtic League, behind Neil Jenkins and the Scarlets' Gareth Bowen. Give it a good old thump. But too much, maybe. The direction losing as a consequence. And it creeps past that left-hand side upright.
Pressure's a professional rugby show, and he's started to grey quite early.
I thought that cold spell was over. Stefan Terblanche, former Springbok winger.
All the way, yes. Straight through, straight through.
Pressure from Horsman on Andy Williams.
That man, in there. You, in there.
The next man in, Richard Bryan, came in from the side rather than behind the back feet.
First man was okay.
This will be frustrating the Warriors, because 6 minutes into the game, they've really not got going at all. It's all been Ospreys, and I'm sure the guys in black will be hoping for a suitable reward from Gavin Henson now.
It's a little bit damp underfoot. It'll cut up as well. But otherwise, conditions not too bad. No breeze. And Gavin Henson fancies he's got the measure of it with his first kick. Result pretty similar though.
I'm sure Barry Williams will be saying, no worries, let's stay where we are. It's been a good start regardless of the scoreboard. But we do like to see that score ticking over.
This time, Terblanche didn't fancy the run downfield. Henson did. Molitika brought him to earth. But again, safe possession for the Ospreys. And Sean Connor drilled it between the approaching players. Gareth Wyatt
Coming.
from the safety of his own 22.
Yeah, it was free ball for Gareth Wyatt. Not an effective kick from Sean Connor. If you're going to give it away like that, you're better off just keeping his hand, being patient, and waiting for a better chance to gain territory.
Take a step, Lou, please. Thank you. That's fine.
Lovely line-out ball from James Bater. Twetty
And roll on,
again
7.
with the carry-forward ball, and so is Barry Williams. Lovely little slip pass back inside. And Williams again, the fulcrum of the Ospreys attack.
It is, roll away. Stay, boys.
It's Tim Evans who slips through the tackle. The young Swansea prop
Roll away, Blue.
on loan to the Ospreys. Duncan Jones injured, Paul Jones injured as well. So Evans getting his chance. James Story, Andy Williams as they venture into the Ospreys to the Warriors 22. Only one player out wide to the left, so they stick with a narrow side to the right, but the possession is spilt. And just for a second, the Warriors were looking to counter, and they had numbers. Had they had one pass in, it would have been a 90-metre chance. As it is, the kick is in field, and the referee says no advantage from the spillage forward, and the Warriors will be able to clear this time from the scrum.
Encouraging signs for the Ospreys pack, though. I fancy the Warriors would be looking to take them on up front. It's a young Ospreys pack, and Tim Evans there, he's a Mumbles lad, very recently converted to the front row. Actually, he used to play in the back row in his younger days, I think, so good chance for him and confidence early on with a pick and drive and valuable yards.
Well, he looks as though he is relishing that role of captaincy.
Okay. On there, on where he is.
9-1 kick.
That's okay.
Elvis
Wait for the second.
Saveali.
Engage.
Okay, retake his place on the left wing.
Stay down, back row.
Bryan with a pickup. Tandy
Roll away, roll away.
first to the tackle, then Andy Lloyd.
Roll away, please.
And Steve Tandy fails to get away from the tackle area. Richard Bryan's work again from the base of the scrum is effective.
Dissimilar start to last week, actually. A lot of penalties at the breakdown. Possession not very clean. Difficult to build anything from it.
Big game for Robert Sidoli, who wants to get his place back in the Welsh squad. That one aimed at Molitika. And it's Daniel Jones with the cleaning up work.
Scrum.
It came from an Ospreys hand anyway.
And it's a pride thing for Robert Sidoli, isn't it? He could have been in the big one on Sunday. He's not. He's here on a Friday night. Lost his spot. Needs to bounce back straight away and produce a big one.
Interestingly, Steve Hansen saying that the game he saw last Friday convinced him even more that Sidoli wasn't at the full fitness yet. Needed a few more games at this level. That's a lovely half break by Sean James. Seve Ali hung on to him though, and that was important. Good pass by Jenkins, and the two wingers combining. David James up to the 22, Musto in good support. Just about brought down by Story. Martens, Molitika looking for runners. A hand in the way from Andy Newman.
Offside here.
And offside against the Ospreys. Great breakout though from the Warriors. Sean James initially, but again Jenkins is passing pinpoint in bringing on runners, and he is the one who could benefit.
Yeah, first time we've seen the Warriors cut in the Ospreys line. Did so very, very effectively. Well, Neil Jenkins throws out those flat passes and simply invite you to cut through. Good break from David James.
Well, it's the first time the Warriors have been down in the Ospreys 22, and somewhat against the run of play, they come away with the first points of the evening, courtesy again of Neil Jenkins' boot.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt the Ospreys. It's been all them from the start. Warriors 1 break, 3 points. Neil Jenkins showing how it's done. No surprises there.
Similar restart second time round,
Okay.
but this time the ball reclaimed by the Ospreys through James Bater. Blanche cutting back inside.
Hands off, Rock.
Story, Tuetti, Williams, Sean James with a tackle.
Yes, there it is.
Horsman though, and again Neil Jenkins giving David James a run down that right flank, still in play. No, not quite. The touch judge now raises his flag. It had just got over, but good vision from Jenkins. It was very tight there. It gave David James a real opportunity to try and get after it.
Gavin Henson was getting back, but this is the variety of kick. It's a lovely little push down the touchline there, along the tram lines. That must have been a very, very close call. He wasn't in, Henson was back. Nice combination.
Leave Malone there. He had it, you pulled him.
Pulling down at the line out was the offence. Neil Jenkins going for goal is the result.
Well, here we are. Let's have a look at that inside arm. Yeah, as so often we see when the ball is lost, a little bit of spoiling, a pull on the inside arm. It's a good pickup.
Luke Tate there. The nearest one of those with the scrum cap on was the one responsible. And flashes of play already of what the Warriors are capable of doing, even from within their own territory.
Yeah, when you got this man on your side, you can play hit and run rugby, can't you? You can be under the cosh, absorb it, and next thing you got 3 points on the board.
Absolutely perfect once again. Metronomic from Neil Jenkins, and it doubles the Warriors' advantage.
Yeah, more rhythmical style with Neil Jenkins, not as harsh on the contact as Gavin Henson, sorry. Doesn't whack it, just strokes it through.
Matthew Rees, the hooker. Just knocked into his own man, though.
Accidental.
And did affect play, says the referee. So that's why the Ospreys have the put in at the scrum.
Kerry, come put this in.
Mama Molitika has taken a bit of a knock. There's the Scrum 5 website address. And we did have an email or two after last Sunday's programme. And as Eddie Butler was saying earlier, the one result so far in the Welsh-French weekend, the under-19s game played at the Brewery Field. Aled Brew with the Welsh try, but 3 French tries and a victory for the visitors.
Yeah.
And the French girls have gone ahead at the Arms Park, even though they only kicked off 2 minutes ago.
Just hold.
They've got a try very early on, and they lead 5 points to 0.
Engage. You're up.
Andy Lloyd under pressure.
You're up. Far side too early. You may well have been held, but you're up too early, okay?
Corey Harris had slipped his binding too early, says the marshal.
Yeah, okay. I'll be aware of it.
Yeah, some very, very soft penalties being given away. At the end of the day, it's all about scoring tries, but you can give games to opposition by silly penalties when you're not really under that much pressure. Luke Tate pulling down the line out on that occasion, not binding fully on the scrum.
Just went up too
Very,
early.
very
Then
silly
he's
points to
holding.
give away.
I'll take a look at that, okay? Yeah, no, I'll sort it. Thank you.
So is it the 2 misses early on, or is it long range, short range for the Ospreys? It's been a good deal nearer, and it's Sean Connor who has the kicking duties. High, straight and true. The Ospreys get their first points after 18 minutes. It's the Ospreys 3, the Warriors 6.
And encouragement from there, nothing less than they deserve. I suspect after that, Sean Connor might keep the kicking duties.
Andy Newman calls for it. Molitika gets an arm in on him before he was in possession. And again, an unnecessary penalty. It breaks up the rhythm of things. It was Molitika who got in on him.
He could go up,
Here we go, he's up in the air.
Didn't even look near it.
Well, in the closest arm there is actually challenging for possession. That was a little bit harsh. He's allowed to challenge. No one's got a right to a free take. You can't take him out in mid-air, but he can challenge with a ball. So perhaps a case there for the Warriors.
Stay here. Three. Come on.
Newman with the directing down. Ted Blanche timing his run, but then slipping into the arms of Molitika.
Drop 4.
Quick tap and go by Andy Williams. Looks out for support, finds Tandy. Tim Evans outside him, but Tandy's still going. Good tackle by Musto. The try line, begging, but Sean Connor knocks it on. The try was there, they'd worked it perfectly. The quick tap and go, superb support. Everything right, except the last take.
Well, all the work had been done, hadn't it? Great tap and go. There's been no pace in this game whatsoever. Andy Williams, quick tap. Tandy where he should be. It's all been done. Simple hands. The pass wasn't good. On another day to taking it. Chance gone begging. Those situations, you don't want those passes forced. You don't want them thrown at you. You just want a nice little bit of weight in it in front, in the breadbasket, and flop over. Easy stuff. Can't afford to panic. When you're in that red zone, you've got to make it count.
It was the brave tackle of Richard Musto that saved the day, and he pays the price, but he stays on.
Yeah, hold on. Crouch and hold, engage.
So the heavier Warriors pack
Stay down, wait
will
forward.
be looking
Stay
to
down, wait
protect
forward.
Cililo Martens. In fact, it's Richard Bryan again who takes it infield and forward. And Jenkins in his own in-goal area keeps a cool head, but doesn't find touch. Ted Blanche. Good ball, laid back. Sebeali, though, doesn't fancy doing the scrum half work yet and pops it between his legs for Tueti. Story. Proper scrum half back there now, but Luke Tate takes it on. That's the Warriors 22. Again, just worked up the flank. Sebeali.
No advantage, 12. 2.
Offside on the blind side.
Here. No, here it is, here.
And here's an interesting decision now for the Ospreys.
Okay, you can get it while you're having the post.
Yeah, Southern Hemisphere Scales Conference. A run blindside because there's nothing on there. They've got to try and build that move again. Inject a bit of pace, but
Skipper,
nothing
12.
coming.
Skipper.
They've got a chance to go for goal.
Skipper.
Say that about Sebeali. He's happy out wide in the open space, but he doesn't mind coming in close and mixing it either. Always busy, always looking for work.
And as Sean Connor prepares his kick, the referee just has a word with John Bryant and tells the Warriors to be careful, or somebody is going to end up in the bin. Just creeping up offside, closing down the Ospreys' attacking space. That's nicely struck by Connor. Is it too much? No. Gets inside the left-hand side upright. Job well done, and the Ospreys are level.
Yeah, and they deserve that for the inventiveness from Andy Williams. Spawned the 5 points, but in the end they came away with something, and slowly and surely in settling down, the spaces continuity beginning to come. Let's hope it stays that way.
Andy Lloyd.
Hands off, rock form. Back.
And the other Andy Williams. Taken by Gareth Wyatt.
Coming blue.
Following up his own kick downfield. But beaten to it by his opposite number, Gavin Henston. Good, confident take from the Ospreys fullback. Connor, Tueti. Lovely flick from Story, but Sebeali well cut down by David James. And the Ospreys unable to work anybody out wide, but they do look to be building up nicely. They're the ones who've had most of the possession.
Wait. Okay. Hold. Crouch and hold. Engage. Get off, lads. Play the ball. There it is, yes. Hands off, rock.
Missed everybody. And Gareth Wyatt did well to drop down on it and get back up to his feet.
Stay. Touch.
A little bit of panic amongst the Warriors ranks that time. Weren't quite sure what to do with it. Ted Blanche's kick is infield. It's still on for the South African winger. And Ted Blanche knocked it on over the try line. But the try has been given. Well, that's incredible.
Well,
I mean, there may have been a cause for a penalty try, who knows? But I don't think he got contact with that ball over the try line as it should have been.
The right smile, because the kick in the first place brought a huge groan from the Ospreys crowd. Looked to be going out, just about stayed in. Then is this shoulder to shoulder? There's a bit of shoving going on. Oh, he didn't gather it. He messed it up. Number of decisions can be made here. I don't think Martins is interfered with. That's just a tussle for the ball, but does he ground it? No, he spills it. The touch judge, there he is, trailing in the background. He wouldn't have seen it. Fortunate decision for the Ospreys.
Well, it's Stéphane Ted Blanche's first try for the Ospreys. A try that should never have been, but a try that'll count. Connor. Beautifully curled round once again, and that's a double blow.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous kick. If you're having a bit of luck, you may as well ride it. Turns it into a 7-pointer. But to Blanche's credit, he never gave in. I think there's a little shove there. All importantly, no downward pressure. Doesn't matter now, 13-6.
The only contact over the try line looked to be between Ted Blanche's leg and the ball, and it's got to be part of the upper body.
It's okay, it's okay. Come, yes, there it is, stay.
Them's the breaks, though.
It is, yes, yes, there it is.
Nice inside ball from Jenkins, but a fine tackle from Barry Williams. Matt Hens looking for the gap, but Bater not giving him an inch. Nice pick-up and control from Richard Bryan. But it's good, aggressive tackling from the Ospreys. James Harris outnumbered in midfield. Bryant looking to slip it in contact. Horsman, Tim Evans guarding the flank. So now it's the Warriors' turn to go through the phases. Sidoli again making it available. Good flick up from Martens. Wyatt looking to get that step going. Again, excellent defence from the Ospreys. Walatika as likely as anybody to breach the defence. And good clearance work as well. Daniel Jones takes a hit and lays it back once more. But the Ospreys' defence are making it very, very hard for the Warriors to gain any purchase. And again, it's Jenkins who has to come up the scrum half. Swap positions with Martens, who slips as he took it. And eventually, it's the defence that's rewarded. 10 out of 10 for the Ospreys' defence.
Yeah, but in truth, Gareth, I don't think the Warriors really made them work that hard. I made the point last week that they're getting continuity, but when you look across the pitch, the men out wide are so flat, they're not staggered at all. There's no one coming from depth, at pace, and really trying to cut the line, making life easy for defences. Too flat, bringing nothing onto the ball.
Well, let's see if the manager agrees. Nigel Bizani is touchside with Graham Thomas.
Thanks, Gareth. Well, Nigel, you were in control of this game. You started to give away penalties and tries. What's gone wrong?
Yeah, we're getting behind on a penalty count at the moment, but Neath, fair play to Neath Ospreys. They're really playing well at the moment. They're coming at us strong, and they really are on the borderline on the defence. I don't know if the ref have noticed that, but they seem to be up really flat on us.
Nigel, thanks very much.
Not just defence, in attack. They're looking good as well, are the Ospreys. Some lovely hands in the movement. Henson at pace. Great tackle by Wyatt.
15. Yes, there it is.
Williams to Etty as Lloyd outside him. Ducked into the first man. But it's all go forward ball, as they like to use the term these days. Barry Williams
Go in there,
in the thick of things again. Laid back a little bit loose that time, with the referee playing advantage. And he called him from the side, and that was a very close call.
Hold on. Quiet. Come here. Come here. Okay, he was told not to go in there. He went in the side. Okay, away you go.
It's the red hair coming out, I think. I've seen him go a few times on the pitch, Gareth, and making his feelings known to the referee there.
And he's been playing with a smile on his face lately, but the old red mist came down that time.
This is a decision that got him upset. Is this ball out? I think there's a case it was. I mean, it's moved away from the back feet of the ruck. Horsman chancing his luck. Some days you get away with those, you're the hero. Other days referees make you look a right mug. It's the latter for Horsman there.
Sean Connor's fine kicking exhibition continues. And at the moment, every time the Ospreys go downfield, they come back with points. And all of a sudden, they've opened up a 10-point gap after being 6 points behind.
Yeah, Barry Williams made an early call. Henson had his chance and missed them. Corner. He's doing the job.
Tate with a take.
Don't come round, 3. Hands away. Stay.
And the error count from the Ospreys at the moment is minimal, and that just keeps them going all the time. www.bbc.co.uk/scrum5 for your emails on the Celtic League, and of course the international weekend or anything else that takes your fancy in the world of rugby. It wasn't meant to work like that, and seeing as it wasn't straight by the end, it won't work like that.
Always a sign of pressure when you see calls and jumps going astray. Not straight either, so poor execution of that lineup from the Warriors. And perhaps a chance for the Ospreys to make way upfield and have another 3 points.
Story looking for the outside break, and there's a confidence about the Ospreys. Tweety and Neil Jenkins just getting the grips, and again Andy Williams. Well, he wanted to have the quick take and go, but I think the referee may want a little word.
High tackle, just a penalty, that's okay. Okay. It's high tackle. Tell him to keep it down. No card this time, all right? Keep it down.
The second try against the Welsh women's team at the Arms Park. 12-0, they trail.
Oh, that's a great kick from corner. That is a great kick.
The other games in the Celtic League, Glasgow against the Dragons, Leinster against the Blues, just kicked off, and we'll keep you in touch with what's happening in those games. Dragons at the top, and the Blues, of course, of particular interest to the Ospreys, who have been on song in this opening half hour. Ulster near the top, playing Munster as well this evening. Scarlets against Edinburgh, live on S4C tomorrow night. They're the one to make up the last of the Celtic League matches for this weekend.
Yeah, the Warriors did very, very well there. Luke Tate managed to get hands on ball from that line. It was a great position for the Ospreys, but that was all he could do, very quickly to ground. And the Warriors foragers in then to get hand on ball and stop any drive-in maul.
Okay, I'm not sure.
From the Ospreys.
I think that was okay, that. I thought so as well.
Oh, you? All right. You can't pick my leg.
If you're going to stop those drive-in line-outs, you've got to be coordinated, you've got to know what you're doing. A very good example there from the Warriors.
Thank you.
Q Lansdowne Road.
3. Yeah, that's okay.
I didn't want to say it.
Good two-handed take from Daniel Jones. Just taking the steam out of the situation for the moment for the Warriors. But interference on the way back to Cirilo Martens.
I don't know what the penalty count is going to be half-time. I'm sure Jonathan might have something to say about it, because there seems to be a lot of whistle at the moment.
Well, it's 13 at the moment with half a dozen minutes to go.
Yeah, it's high. It feels that way.
2-1 against the Warriors.
On the line, Black. No, hold on. On the line. Thank you.
Ciroli missed that one. Steve Tandy getting the ball at the tail. Andy Williams has kicked half charge down.
No advantage, it was knocked. Black ball. It was knocked at the line out.
And seeing as it went through Sidoli's hands, making contact, that's why the scrum has gone to the Ospreys.
Crouch, crouch and hold. Engage. Hold, hold. Sorry, yes.
Seviali coming on the switch after the initial move had broken down rather badly. It's Warriors' ball. Well, it was.
Let it come. Let it come.
There's just too much temptation to get hands in there as the ball is emerging.
Yeah, they did a very good job on Seviali then. He couldn't lay the ball back. The Warriors tacklers in very quickly. They turned him. And unless you surrender possession, there's every chance that you're going to give a penalty away then. So a chance for the Warriors now to get something going.
Ben Howells and Alan Lewis, the Warriors coaches, need to get their thinking caps on, because they've got a bit of talking to do in a few minutes' time. Real battle for that one as well, arms all over the place. Bryant knew he had nowhere to go, so came back to the strength of the forwards. Jenkins, Richard Bryan,
Hands off. Stay.
Horsman looking for weakness around the fringes. James back inside to Richard Mustoe at pace. It's good running from the winger. Martens, Horsman again. Oh, really knocked back in the tackle. It was Andrew Millward who stood there. And that again is excellent defence from the Ospreys. Andrew Millward stood there and presented a brick wall for Chris Horsman.
Yeah, prop on prop. Great contest. Lines him up. In fact, it's Andy Newman that comes in with the arm. Big hit from the second row. And if you're going to pick two people to run into, Millward and Newman, I suggest, are the wrong option. Big guys, ugly with it. There are better places to go.
And after the tackling work, it's now line-out work for them. James Bater, the recipient that time, though, meant to try and pop it back down into the hole in the line-out. Didn't quite work out for them.
Yeah, and lucky Andy Williams, it was the scrum half that was looking for the gap through the middle.
A bit quicker
Scrum
then,
half can make big yardage if that move comes off.
Okay, hold. Right and hold, engage.
And Richard Mustoe ready to come in to attack for the Warriors. This time it's out to Sean James. A bit flat for Wyatt, who ships it on to David James.
Roll off. Yes, there it comes.
They arrive quickly enough to recycle. Richard Bryan. Final minute of the first half's normal time. Martens fends off one. There's another two ready to tackle him. And the Ospreys' defence has been first-rate this evening. Molatika then breaks the gain line, but only just. And who's there first? James Bater.
On the deck.
Here goes Andy Williams again. Now then, was that 10 metres from Chris Horsman? It's play on for the moment anyway. Yes, it is play on. Tuetti dummies once, then Seviali drops it onto his left foot nicely. Awkward bounce. Corey Harris recovers well. Excellent work by the flanker. Tremendous up and down and away. Sidoli. Oh, and it's an interception and a stroll over for James Bater as the Warriors look to create something out of defence. One pass is all James Bater needed to really hammer home this first half advantage.
What a time to score it. What a time to score it. Very healthy score. I'm sure he can't believe this pass gets thrown. If you're playing with your head up, you see someone drift in there. What an easy pick-off. He doesn't even have to chance his arm. You've got to read defences when you're throwing these sort of passes. It's Mustoe that gives it. And he's not going to have an easier one. It's been a big battle this half. You don't expect your tries and your points to come as easily as that.
The conversion successful from Sean Connor was the final kick of the first half, and that is a gift for the Ospreys. They thought they'd be in the lead at half-time, but that much of a lead is an absolute luxury there's no doubting they've had the better of the first 40, but really to go in by 23 points to 6 is even more than they could expect.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the message from Lynn Jones as well, but they're certainly good for a lead, not one as healthy as that. But to their credit, the Ospreys, I thought they'd have a very, very big challenge from the Warriors pack. It hasn't materialised, and the Ospreys, they've been taking the battle to them, and they'll feel very happy about things, I should imagine.
Lynn Howells is the man who's got to do the harsh talking, because after the early penalties, it's been all Ospreys. And at half-time, it's the home crowd that are feeling very, very satisfied indeed, because at the moment, it's the Ospreys 23, the Warriors 6.
Surprisingly, is closer than I thought. Territory isn't, and that's the story really of the first half. They've dominated those two statistics, and they've taken, taken one try very well. The second one, I wasn't really sure about, but yeah, that's quite dominant first half. I think the two chances, they went into the lead. They've only been in the Ospreys half on a couple of occasions. Neil Jenkins has put a couple of kicks over, but Henson missed 2 kicks before that. They've been, held in their own quarter. They haven't really performed in this game.
No, it's funny is that the Warriors have had such a sticky patch. That 2 months was a horror show for Lynn Jones, the coach, wasn't it? But all of a sudden they look to be back in that vibrant form.
I think what it is, at the start of the season, as Lynn mentioned, they tried to play the open expansive style of rugby. The weather was nice, the surfaces were good, and you can do that. But once you get worked out, slowing ball down, you've got to get over the gain line. This game is all about getting over the gain line. And now they've done it exceptionally well tonight. They've kept possession, they've been patient, but they've got over that gain line and they made it easier then for their backs.
OK, now, the opening try by Stéphane Terblanche, tricky. What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's a poor kick. Neil Jenkins isn't there and someone stands in. But he kicks the ball here, he thinks he's gone straight in first, he slows down. Oh, it's not, and down he goes. No full back in place. They fall over. Watch his reaction. That's what it's all about. It's Terblanche's reaction, right? He gets his hand to it, moves it. Watch his reaction, He knows he hasn't scored. He knows he hasn't scored.
That's a player thumping the turf in frustration, yeah?
Yeah, but, the referee and the linesman wasn't anywhere near. And as we can see in the oral, again, this is it. It's a poor kick. And really, you've got to ask where Gareth Wyatt is there. You can't see him in shot. He gets there. Look at the linesman and the referee. The referee's maybe in the best position. Linesman's too slow to keep up. So from that position, they give it a try.
I think that's very cruel on the touch judge there, Jeff.
Not cruel. He just didn't have the pace to get there. So, but it's a call they had to make.
Right, OK.
And unfortunately, you're not blaming them, but they made the wrong one. Yeah. It's as simple as that. They made the wrong call.
It was a wicked bounce, wasn't it? You could see everybody slowed down because the ball is angling towards the touchline. There was it was the wrong one.
Well, a bit of side on it, and it stayed in field, and Wade was caught out of position.
Now, perhaps the best move of the game, and it certainly became the biggest miss. Poor old Sean Connor on the line, but it was a good build-up, wasn't it?
This is all about good ball, It's quick. He gets away. Good support by, first of all, the back row forward. He's there. He's always there. He's always there. Well, that is a try. There's 2 men there, and he got a score.
Yeah, Steve Tandy did all the hard work.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't. I think the pass, you think it sort of split the 2 players. It wasn't quite.
Again, the pass was slightly behind. You've got to put the correct weight on it. It was a pass that was too hard. There's an opportunity missed. But that was it. You make the break. You get good support by Tandy. They clear out very quickly. You can't defend against it. The pass should be in the breadbasket, and that's a try.
Now, it seems quite simple that the Ospreys have found themselves a new regional manager in the shape of, well, the very large shape of Derwyn Jones. But this is a little bit more to it than all that. Here's Graham Thomas.
Thanks, Ed. Well, Derwyn, back at the Gnoll, where it all began for you about 150,000 years ago. A new job, a new title, regional rugby manager. What's all that about?
Well, it's a new challenge for me, Graham. I'm really looking forward to coming down and working with the Ospreys. It's a very young, dynamic coaching team. A lot of great youngsters coming through the system, and like I said, it's a new challenge.
You were team manager, of course, with the Cardiff Blues. Why the decision to leave the Arms Park?
Well, you know, I felt over the last sort of 6 months that my role has been marginalised. 2 months ago, I was told I was out of a job. I've got a family to provide for, and while Cardiff is a great club with fantastic supporters, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to do what's best for yourself, and I'm really looking forward to the challenge down here.
Cardiff seem a bit miffed at your departure. Are they right to be?
Well, there are certain legal issues going on at the moment, Graham, but what's upset me is that my loyalty to Cardiff has been questioned. But I think what you've got to do is to look at what's happened over 2 months ago with the talk of the merger of the Warriors. I think loyalty works both ways, and I feel that certain people have let the supporters and everybody down, and I certainly don't feel that I'm one of them, you know. I've given a lot of service to Cardiff, nearly 200 games over my career. I've worked very, very hard over the last 2 years, and I wish the club all the best.
It's been a messy divorce, though. Is it going to carry on, or are you willing to, and hopeful you can draw a line under it?
Well, I want to move on, Graham, to be honest. So, like I said, I want to wish Cardiff best of luck for the rest of the season. They are a great side with a fantastic head coach. You know, they're a good bunch of players, and I just want to get on with my career now down at the Ospreys. And like I said, it's exciting times for me, and I'm looking forward to the job.
And you brought some good luck with you here tonight.
I have. They're going very well so far, and long may it continue.
Darren, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Derwin Jones, new at the Gnoll. There are issues there.
There's a lot of issues. I don't think that's the end of that. I think it's totally unprofessional, first and foremost.
By who?
By Derwin. You know, I know there's loyalties, and you know, he's got to look after careers, but I do think that if you're a team manager, there should be some guideline to say you just can't upship and go to another region. He has got access to confidential files, he's got access to contracts, he's got access to the plays, and you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got the Ospreys and Cardiff Blues going for Europe. That one game could be crucial. With him coming here, you know, he knows everything about Cardiff, and I think that's wrong.
That's not going to interfere with the Blues and the Ospreys going for the 4th spot.
Of course
not
it is.
This season.
You know, he knows everything. He knows everything. The part of game plans, what players do, the line-out calls, the scrummaging calls. He's been there for all season. And when it comes down to the one contract, his contract and his salary, that could be totally insignificant because that one result could determine which side goes into Europe and who gets more money from that. I just don't think.
Is that Derwin's fault? Surely isn't that contract law? I mean,
well,
if you want a cooling off period, surely it's up to the contract to include that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying it's Cardiff's fault. But there should be guidelines. You can't just up your ship and then just move to another place. I just think it's totally wrong. And this. I don't know what's been going on, but there's a sour taste in Cardiff's mouth. You know, I've got loyalties to Cardiff. I've got loyalties to Neath-Swansea, where they gave my contract. You know, I played with Derwin. I played with Robert Noster. You know, they're all my friends. But there's something is wrong here, and I don't think you can just make a decision and change in the middle of a season. I think it's far too important. You know, for these regions, guidelines have to be made.
Do you think there's just another one of those things that a fledgling regional sport is going to stumble across these problems until it really sorts itself out?
Maybe, but I think more has gone on. I think that before he left his position, there are certain things that maybe Cardiff aren't happy about. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the hands of the lawyers.
Okay, right. Well, let's get back. Let's leave the lawyers alone. Get back to tonight's action. The Warriors coming back onto the field, chastened, no doubt, by the words of their coaches at half-time, because they did not have a happy first half. The Ospreys have a commanding lead, 23 points to 6. Back to Stuart and Gareth.
Yeah, whatever the shenanigans off the field, the Ospreys are looking very comfortable on it. And John Bryant, well, he'll have to have a go at them as well, Stuart. I dare say that Lynn Howells has been giving them a rare old talking to, and now they'll have to pick their socks up for this second 40.
Yeah, it's a mark of the work that's been done by the Ospreys in that first half, but I don't remember seeing John Bryant with ball in hand making any impact at all, and he's been magnificent over recent weeks. So they're doing a job on them at the moment. The Warriors unusually quiet. They're second best up front. They're not working any good patterns behind, and they've got it all to do.
They'll need all of Neil Jenkins' experience to get them back on track. Neil Jenkins will need to keep his cool and concentrate on his game rather than the penalties he feels are storming against his team. So the Warriors after 6 wins in the last 7 games.
Let it come, hands away, Rock.
With a real task on their hands. And the resurgent Ospreys, 3 wins in their last 4. 3.5 now. There's a fair old way to go before that half turns into a fully fledged win.
Back, out, please. Hold. Get out. Get out. That'll move. Thank you. Hold it there.
Robert Sidoli was the recipient. Jenkins initially testing Henson again. Sean James and Bryant both up there. And everybody missed it. And it was Barry Williams who couldn't quite control the loose ball.
Yeah, Barry Williams just guilty of taking an eye off the ball there in amongst all the traffic before he'd gathered it. No options both sides here for the Warriors. He's stacking blindside. Where's he going to go?
Stay on and stay down.
Martens going on the wide arc. Tackle was rather high from Story. Horsman just going to ground. Molatika. Jenkins, they're up quickly in midfield, and Matthew Rees charges his way forward. Molatika back to Corey Harris. Didn't force the 50-50 ball, but it was a loose one, picked up by Tim Evans. Sean Corner, there's plenty of time to sit back on that one. Harry James looking to get them going forward again. There's a lucky break for Richard Bryant and the Warriors. Jenkins goes for the gap and he's through it. Not quite close enough for support. And Horsman again going to ground, and that'll give them plenty of time to shore up the defence again. John Bryant did come back on the inside track. May have been the ball the Warriors were looking for, but in the end, they won't have any ball at all to use.
Well, this is how out of sorts the Warriors are. The Jenkins break, he's gone through the gap there. All he wants is the man on the shoulder. Bryant gives him the option. The pass goes deep to Horsman. Chance gone.
And Bryant and Musto were both there, ready, lurking for it. But he went to the third man, Chris Horsman, the tight head prop. Danger over. Loose kick. And a neat bit of footwork by Gareth Wyatt.
Yeah, greedy on that touch kick there. When things are going well for you, you just do the basics right. Should have been an Ospreys throw-in, much further up the pitch. Basics going, that's the message.
Andy Newman, he's been an ever-present for the Ospreys this season. Started all 14 Celtic League fixtures, and he supplied them with plenty of possession this evening as well.
Ospreys ball.
That time though, beaten by Daniel Jones. Jenkins. And again, John Bryant, well marshalled.
There.
Martens, much nearer Terre Blanche than anyone else. Henson had a hurry in the end though, but makes it safely. And there's the latest, the Dragons, the top of the pile. And Percy Montgomery try, but they trail. The Blues don't. Rob Appleyard has given them a lead. And Ulster Munster all square. And at half-time, no further tries leaked by the Welshwomen at the Arms Park. Sean James forced backwards, but John Bryant ripped it off him. Bryant, and at last he's got some space in midfield. Good clever tackle by Andy Williams. Again, it's slowed down for the Warriors. They really cannot build up a head of steam and keep it up. As soon as they inject some pace, something slows it down for them.
I'm not sure where that whistle came from. Could have been allowed to go on there, but battle for the ball at these rucks. Very hard, very little time. Silvino Martin's getting scragged. He's having man and ball every time.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. Right. Crouch and hold. Engage. Stay down back row.
Bryan probing the blind side. Couldn't get his tackle in though after getting behind the defender. Jenkins. Again, slow midfield ball to John Bryant. Not really challenging the defence. Good flick on by Sean James to Gareth Wyatt. Fine tackle by Sean Connor. Martens. Jenkins. Sidoli. 3 of them there again to bring him down. Jenkins spills it this time. And the defence still holding firm. The Warriors finding no inspiration to get their way through.
Yeah, when they are breaching the gaps, Gareth, Richard Bryan there, ball in hand, couldn't get the pass off the floor. Rare mistake from the maestro outside half.
I'm not sure if the close support is quite there soon enough, is it, to do it?
No, it's not, because, you know, when defences are so tight, when you do breach them, when you get around the back, it's that shoulder ball, that pop ball to a man coming on a pace, that's when you hurt defences. At the moment, though, people like Bryan, Jinks, they're not finding their support runners, and they're not making the attacks count.
Yeah, shake of head from Lynn Howell says it all, really. Nothing's happening for them.
No, in truth, both back lines, they are flat. We're not seeing anyone hitting it at pace.
Yes. Give it. Yeah.
That was a good kick by Andy Williams. He deserved that applause from the crowd at the Gnoll, because it was hard work for Andy Lloyd initially. Not the best ball to deal with, but a great kick from the scrum half.
Yeah, it's a good kick. The Warriors aren't going to score from there. They've got to go back and build something, start again.
Well, the Warriors looking for some fresh blood. He has proved an impact player in other games this season, and Ryan Jones just takes his place at the tail of that line-out in place of Mama Molitika.
Yeah, he's a big lad, very comfortable with ball in hand, so could be a good call from Lynn Howells.
That's better from John Bryant. Looks for support. Ran away from it again slightly. Martens. Again asking too much of Jenkins. Wyatt. Martens. Sean James. Musto to Bryant again. It was his break initially that got them going, but again they can't build on it. Defence all back there again as Ryan Jones gets his first touch of the ball. Somehow manages to squeeze it back. Jenkins. Sean Connor flew up on the outside there. Martens. Good flick on from Musto to Bryant. Bryant tried to get it back to David James. And the other Bryant is there. Richard, the number 8. Ryan Jones. This is the best attack of the half from the Warriors. Jenkins. Bundled over by Andy Lloyd. Again the Warriors have it. Loader a little bit closer, waiting for it. There he is. Defenders with him again though. Martens. Sean James. Crawling towards the try line. Advantage being played for the Warriors. They'll have a penalty if they can't score. Bryant gets over though. And John Bryant, the Warriors captain, for the 3rd time in that movement, finally makes it over the try line.
Yeah, Johnny Bryant's try written all over it, and that's what I mean by pace onto a ball. Watch him onto this pass from Jinks. He's got depth, he hits the gap, breaks the tackle. Henson, no chance. But Johnny Bryant deserved that. First time we've seen it. Here he comes. Just comes in on an angle infield, puts him inside corner. Very difficult tackle, and much different tackle to face on. Powerful man, Bryant, and he deserved that.
And he's having a good season, John Bryant. Taking over the captaincy in the latter part of it. And he has played some great games, notably out in Leinster. Man of the match performance that evening. And it needed something to spark the Warriors early in this second half.
He'll always step up, won't he? He's a banker. Great squad. You think of who's out of this team at the moment. And John Bryant in great form.
Just a little bit too tight that time from Neil Jenkins. He's kept this game alive.
Yeah, this is where it all started. For the first time, Bryant finds his yard. It's a simple cut back. Tandy's there, no one inside him. Back row gone AWOL, and that's big yards for Bryant.
So will that rejuvenate the Warriors? And the Ospreys dig deep again. Half an hour left. There's Corey Harris doing well from the restart. And just a bit of safety first from Neil Jenkins, meant to be, but it could be danger as Henson, oh, dear me, poleaxed.
Well, Henson, he's a big fullback, but you don't want to be doing that. Treble tackle on the fullback. Crunch.
But it's Richard Bryan who's come off worse. It was Bryan, Horsman and Ryan Jones in there who flattened Gavin Henson. But it's the Warriors, number 8, who's suffering. Big lad is Gavin Henson, 6 foot and 15 stone plus.
Oomph.
I wonder if there's a clash of heads maybe that caught Richard Bryan.
A bit of hair dye in the eye, perhaps.
Okay, big man.
If this shows us where Richard Bryan gets the smack. Yeah, side of the head. That'll hurt.
Yeah, come closer and crouch and hold. Okay, engage.
Andy Lloyd getting good early ball from the scrum.
There it is, yeah.
Peter.
Roll off, Blue, roll away!
And the Ospreys more like they were at the end of the first half. Sebe Ali needs support, and he's got it. Change of tactic this time. It's a bit long though. Oh, Gareth Wyatt almost made a mess of it.
There it is, yeah. There it is, it's underneath them.
The Ospreys have it anyway. Andy Williams fancied he could spot the gap. He's caught up in Chris Horsman's legs. Now freed. Tueti tries to do it himself, and Andy Milward drops it.
Advantage was over, it's not gone here.
Oh, big chance gone. Unfamiliar territory for Millwood, perhaps, but it was a nice pass. Shouldn't have spilled it. Seemed to be weighted on the shoulder where he should be. Eyes up, looking for the tackler. And a shocking kick from corner nearly produces something.
Yeah, I know, it's okay, yeah, I saw that one.
Plenty of mistakes out there. And a fair bit of excitement as well. Dave Tueti did well to step back inside as the defence was drifting across field.
Yeah, he's very aware as well of where the incoming tackles were coming from, so he was looking for that little pop. Good decision making in amongst the traffic.
Richard Bryan obviously still struggling though.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
Jenkins getting as close to that touchline as he could. And that'll relieve the Warriors' try line for the time being anyway.
Big pressure on him. Good kick though. Good yardage.
Nice line-out ball again from James Bater. Andy Lloyd in midfield. Ryan Jones bringing him down. Connor looking for the inside runners. Luke Tate did very well indeed. Connor, Steve Tandy, excellent running from the flanker. Barry Williams, they're outnumbered on that side. They wait for the cavalry to arrive, and they do. Tueti, Seve Ali, asking a lot of Tim Evans. Can the Warriors turn it over and use it, or will they have to settle for the scrum? Neil Jenkins punishes the mistakes. Sean Connor, good backtracking from the outside half. And Jenkins wondering for a moment whether he's going to pump it back down there. Wyatt upended, but that's excellent support from Matthew Rees. Martens, Jenkins, Ryan Jones. Again, Martens caught in possession, but that's because the defence were up too quickly.
Okay, 14 off.
So the Warriors weather that little mini storm from the Ospreys, and that's an excellent kick from Neil Jenkins.
Yeah, good phases there from the Ospreys. It was a good move, good mix. Williams, Tandy started all with a great angle, good run.
Like the numbers, gentlemen.
When he came back to Tueti, it was very, very lateral.
First man, okay, let him come down. Get in, 5.
Sidoli unopposed. Just looking to bring down the drive. Smuggled back by the Warriors. They're very close to the touchline. Two props and Corey Harris leading the way. But man in front of the ball carrier is what's deemed by the referee. Never quite sure which way the ref's going to read it.
It's all about whether it's a maul or not, I suppose. If they're detached and then they're obstructing, it's a penalty.
A lot of missed touch finders at the moment. Richard Mustoe building up a bit of pace. James Bater with a determined tackle. Deft little kick from John Bryant, but it's a nice bounce for Henson, and he slips the tackle. Gavin Henson, superb work. One too many when he had the support on the inside.
Well, that says a lot about Gavin Henson to me. He's done all the work. He's bouncing tackles, he's fielded it. He has 3 opportunities to pass this. He fends again. Now he's got to pass. If Ali's free, that's ridiculous play. Do the simple things well. Pop the pass, run as a support runner. Selfish play from Henson.
Thank you.
Set himself up so well, but wanted too much in the end. Corey Harris takes the pickings at the tail. Martens, David James got in well because the Neath defence in midfield is really giving the Warriors no chance whatsoever. They are living on the edge.
Here.
Cirilo Martens is struggling to free those three quarters. Well, we're into the final quarter now. And the Ospreys still a couple of scores clear, so there's still a lot of work for the Warriors to do.
Here we go, another look at Henson. Watch the great work that he does in fielding this. Knowing that a full-back can do that behind you is great, but there's the time to pass the ball. Seviali probably is in there. It's Sidoli tracking back, no contest.
Steve Tandy didn't look too pleased either, because he was up there supporting well as usual.
Okay, leave it on, 3. Let's have. Let's have, there it is. No, sorry, too slow. Here we go, turnover. Too slow. Number 9, Warriors. 9 Warriors. Warriors 9.
Well, mentioned Cirilo Martens was struggling, and Paul John comes on to see if his service can get things going that little bit quicker.
I don't know if that's an injury. If it's tactical, it says a lot of how well contained Martins has been this evening. Paul John, a very different type of operator.
There, far side, 1.
And Paul John made most of his appearances as a replacement this season. 8 of them in all. His last start was back in November. Paul John, the old partnership, back in action. 34 years old now. It'd be strange to see the end of Paul John and Neil Jenkins.
Yeah, it's a partnership that goes back a long, long way, doesn't it?
Don't come across, okay? Let's keep it square. Keep your hands stick and change your position. Crouch and hold. Engage. Let's go. It is. Rock hands
Again,
off. Thank you.
Andy Lloyd just taking it up, and the Ospreys happy just to wear the clock down and not make any mistakes is key for them at the moment. So they may not be too happy with that loose kick. James Baker has done a lot of following up tackling.
Yeah, Baker and Lloyd, they've worked very hard. They've been prominent on the break.
Good break by Jenkins, though. Again, nobody close enough initially. Brian Jones. John. Bryant. And as they fly up, there are 1 or 2 gaps appearing as they step back inside. Good hands from Sean James. David James trying to get more and more in on the action, and he's got to come close to the point of breakdown, because it's not going to get a chance to come out wide, such as the Neath defence, the Neath-Swansea Osprey defence in midfield. Chris Horsman needed to straighten it out. He's taking the territory away from the players on his outside. And that blind side is getting smaller and smaller. Sean James. Sidoli. Jenkins. Almost looked as though he'd given up on it. John Bryan must have been offside to get there that quick. Henson didn't manage to keep his feet in play. And it's the knock-on the ref has taken rather than any offside decision. That was a very interesting one from Neil Jenkins. He stood still and punted it out wide.
Yeah, and in the end, he was putting Bryant up against 3 tacklers. But I tell you what, he's orchestrating things in his older years, but he's also been looking for the break this evening. Not the first time we've seen him slipping through. And yet again, unable to link up with any outside support.
Well, Percy Montgomery's got all 11 points for the Dragons. The Glasgow team clear. The Cardiff Blues leading thanks to a Nicky Robinson try. And it's tight in the Ulster-Munster game at Ravenhill. And after the initial point scoring from the French ladies, they haven't added to it. And just 20 minutes left for play there. Less than quarter of an hour here. So if the Ospreys, the Warriors rather, want to get on terms, they need to score pretty sharpish. It has been a far more even, level second half with just the John Bryan try. Mustoe collects. Gets away from Terblanche as well. He's an exciting runner, Richard Mustoe. Sean James juggles, and that cost him a second and allowed Newman to get the tackle in, and it'll cost the Warriors possession as well.
Hold on, here.
Richard Mustoe, well, he's forced Isaiah Havili out of the team.
Go.
He's a deadly finisher.
Yeah,
But Richard Mustoe has offered a lot to the Warriors in the games that he's played recently. Down pitch side is one of the Warriors who's not playing with Graham Thomas, is Brent Cobain.
Thanks, Gareth. Well, Brent, Warriors having plenty of possession here, but you're struggling to get back in this game.
Yeah, we are at the moment, but there's a lot of mistakes, you know, from both sides and a lot of penalties out there. I think it's quite wet. Ball handling is quite difficult, but you know, we're still in it. We're down in their half, and you know, a couple of quick scores, and we're back in the front. Nice to see you here, but you're all set up, looking forward to Sunday. Oh, definitely, yeah. Mine's definitely focused on France. We still have a couple of training sessions tomorrow, and we're staying in the hotel tomorrow night, and then obviously the big game on Sunday. Best of luck. Thanks very much.
I've drawn him in the sweeping work for first try scorer now. With a name like disaster, I'm not sure whether my money's been well spent, to be honest.
You'd better go into the bookies and getting some decent odds on him, I think. I don't think he's going to be amongst the front runners to get over the whitewash first. Ryan Jones with a line-out take, nicely slipped as well. That gave every chance to get the driving maul on. Very well held at bay initially. Advantage being played by the referee. Dummy loop and Mustoe in from the blind side wing. Not enough of an advantage. Pulling down at the line.
Yeah, big decision now.
No.
Points available, what will they go for?
Be careful.
Warriors want the tries.
Oh, number 8 Osprey.
And the Ospreys have done a big job against their line-out, so very important set piece here for the Warriors. They've got to produce.
It must have been a tough call for Lynn Jones in the first place, who he's going to pick. Andy Lloyd has played very, very well indeed. And now they got Nathan Bonner-Evans, a very effective ball carrier instead of him.
Yeah, Andy Lloyd has been very impressive. Done a lot of work off the back of the scrum. Started things off, found the yards. He's had a good night.
Now then, have the Warriors got rid of the defenders? They spilt the ball though. Again, defence has been key for the Ospreys this evening.
Yeah, another sign of the good work being done up front. More than anything, I think that will have pleased Lynn Jones. And allowed the Warriors any momentum. And yet another example there. Spoilt ball for the Warriors.
Good to see him back. He's had so many injuries in his short career.
Straight in. Straight in. Number 3.
He's gone against Chris Hoseman. Boring in on that tight head. So the hard work for the Warriors of getting down there. In vain, as the Ospreys work their way back up to halfway again.
I hope Bonner Evans makes the most of the 10-15 minutes that he's got. Wales desperately need a big ball carrying number 8. He certainly has the potential, but struggled with injuries. Chance to show what he can do now.
Well, he got a couple of tries last time out against Munster. I think half charge down, everybody onside. Paul John was back there. Mustoe to Jenkins. And he's going to get there first. Gavin Henson again. Henson following up his own kick into the 22. Back there was Ryan Jones. Superb corner flagging from the replacement. But again, Henson showing his potential, read it well, judged the bounce perfectly. Jenkins, bit of adventure from the dead ball line. Where are you going, Neil? Say the rest of the Warriors team. But they're there with him. Not an Osprey in sight in that ruck. Steve Tandy just trudging backwards, straight out to Sean Connor. And that time, Connor judged the angle to perfection.
Yeah, cracking kick, did very well. Good Terry, but Henson again. When a full-back this size is coming onto a ball at pace, he's a dangerous animal. But Ryan Jones actually does very, very well here. If he stays on his feet, he's game on. Goes to floor, Henson can't hit him. Straight up, early support, job done. Good play from Ryan Jones.
Three, give me a scrum half, lads.
So 7 minutes of normal time remaining, and the Warriors need to find 2 scores from somewhere. And that, at the moment, from their own 22. Well, Sidoli is thinking about a free ball. Gets it off the top instead for a run. Hoseman. Paul John to Neil Jenkins. Henson is underneath that one again. Safe as houses. Big boot. That time kept in by Richard Mustoe. Weighs up his options. Gavin Henson weighs in with a tackle. Jenkins looking for a bit of space behind. Claims he was impeded. Nice quick off-road from Tandy. Seveali. The outstretched dive of John Bryant, reclaiming it for the Warriors. Gareth Wyatt disgusted with himself for that kick.
Yeah, and the Ospreys still in their faces. 75th minute, still no room for the Warriors. The Ospreys on their game, giving them nothing. And that clock slowly working its way towards a finish. Very healthy position, very comfortable position for Lynn Jones, the coach there. Ospreys in control.
Tuetti to Seveali. As well. Barry Williams. Lovely offload to Luke Tate. That was excellent play by the Ospreys captain. But they've lost it on the floor. And Paul John's trusty left foot puts the Warriors back where they want to be. Way downfield. Time for Henson to steady himself though. There's a big gap there, which is filled now by Gareth Wyatt. Looks towards the open spaces. Sidoli. But again, slow ball for the Warriors. They really haven't had the cutting edge or the killer instinct at all this evening. Just shipped on again to Ryan Jones. And the Ospreys' defence at times has been excellent. At times have had their work been fairly easy for them. David James and Richard Mustoe, the two wingers, are the ones that look to try and do something for the Warriors. Sidoli, and nothing going right for the Warriors. I think they realise now it's all over, bar the shouting.
Doesn't matter. Got. Four. No ball hold, gentlemen. Keep it square, remember. Hold it, wait. Crouch and hold, engage.
Still hard work on the coalface.
Backside 10. Engage.
They still want to get one up on their opposite number, whatever stage of play the game is at. And the game is by now safely in the hands of the Ospreys.
No.
Terre Blanche under pressure from Richard Mustoe. John Bryant keeps on going to the end once again. Jenkins. Oof, big hit by James Story. Mustoe. Paul John gets them going forward, gets them over the gain line, but at this stage of the game, that isn't enough. John James. David James just watching the bounce.
Hands are on, yes.
John.
Hands are on.
A little dink over the top from John Bryant. Scrambled ball that for the Ospreys.
Hands are on.
Henson. Good cover from Bryan. Did very well under pressure from Henson, who had followed up his own kick. And the Warriors going backwards, forced to kick the ball. Kept in play though. Steve Tandy again patrolling back in defence. And plays the numbers and the percentages, and that will do nicely for the Ospreys. Stuart, you're the one choosing the man of the match this evening.
Yeah, timely when we see an Ospreys back row forward producing something like that, because we talked about them before the game started. They had a big battle on their hands tonight. They've been up for it. In fact, the whole Ospreys pack. Barry Williams started things well, but that man, James Bater, I think his industry, nothing to do with his try, that was a walk-in, but his industry around the park, big hits, ball carrying. It's not been a spectacular open match. There's been a lot of work on up front, and the Ospreys pack have stood up, knowing more than that, man.
And his effort has really personified the effort of the Ospreys as a team. Here's another one, still full of running, offering himself up. Steve Tandy. 6, 7 and 8 for the Ospreys have all featured very heavily indeed.
Yeah, and Lynn Jones giving youth a go. They haven't let him down, have they? Young combination, but very, very effective. Also been very impressed with Andy Newman. I thought he's got through a lot of work tonight as well. He's a big man, he's done a lot of work close in.
There's some of the unglamorous work from the Ospreys back row. Tuetti, loose pass for once. Sean James trying to capitalise, back up on his feet the second time with the tackle not completed. Ryan Jones.
Rough form, stay.
Jenkins, just about controlled by Chris Horsman. Richard Mustoe, determined tackling from Bonner Evans. A hack through from Andy Williams. Back goes Gareth Wyatt. And he must have felt that he's been going backwards for most of this game.
Just told that he's putting you.
Ensign, on the other hand, has had a much easier ride coming forward. Again, it favours the Ospreys. Kept in play by Sean James. And Neil Jenkins won't want it off the park now, unless he fancies having a shower.
It is, hands away, hands away! Hands in the deck.
Penalty comes too late for the Ospreys. And Corey Harris says, come on, let's have one more effort. John Bryant up to the 22. Chris Loader, Jenkins, Horsman.
Stay up, stay up!
David James trying to do the flankers work. Well, there's a little guilty look there as the hand went in. And it was on the face of James Story.
Yeah, touch judge in close proximity. Little nod to the referee. He wasn't going to get away with that one.
Yes.
And Sean Hawley, assistant coach in the foreground. Lynn Jones, coach in the background. And they will be pretty pleased, I dare say, with the efforts of the evening as their rise up the table continues.
Yeah, and it's a good start for them tonight. The Warriors have been going very, very well, but haven't been formidable tonight. It's been a good job, well done by the Ospreys.
Corey Harris almost up to the try line. Neil Jenkins tries to fend off Seve Ali. And a bit of urgency about the Warriors at last. They've lacked it though for the main part this evening. Sean James tries to burst through.
It is, hands
Gareth
up!
Wyatt tries to do the clearance work. Barry Williams wondering whether he could go for it or not. Errs on the side of caution. Richard Mustoe. Sound tackling again from Luke Tate. Corey Harris, David James, Tim Evans with a tackle. The top up though from Nick Kelly. Chris Horsman as the Warriors pound the Ospreys try line.
Stay hands on!
Paul John finds his old partner to Sean James. Sidoli was waiting for the release, but he couldn't get that release. John arrives quickly again to Jenkins. It's hard work for the Warriors. Ryan Jones can't find a way through. Paul John ducks underneath. Newman with a tackle. And the Ospreys still haven't given up on the tackling they have to do. And still, they're close to that offside line. And indeed, that time, step over it.
4 minutes into injury, but still a huge appetite for defence from the Ospreys.
Nick Kelly. Only been on a few minutes, so he's still full of running. Jenkins. Misread by John Bryant. But not knocked on, so the Warriors still in possession. Pressure from Millward on John. Recovered by the Warriors, but a good few metres further downfield. Chris Horsman tries to get them back on course for the try line. For what will be a consolation try by now. Wyatt's chip, again well read by Henson.
Oh, fly!
The tackle was high. It's all academic now. They can let the ball over the touchline anytime they want and bring a halt to proceedings. And that's exactly what the referee does. superb defence at the end of the game from the Ospreys, and that really typifies their hard-fought performance. They didn't get any points in the second half, but they're the ones who come away with the 4 points for winning. The Ospreys complete the double over the Warriors after a hard-fought battle in the second half. 2 tries to 1 to the Ospreys, and a win by 23 points to 11.
Yeah, and the revival continues. That was a hugely encouraging performance for Lynn Jones. Not spectacular by any means, but what it said was that there was an awful lot of work being done in tight. That's what the coach asked for. That's what he got. Good sign to the Ospreys.
The Warriors' winning run comes to an end. It's now 4 wins in the last 5 for the Ospreys. The Ospreys 23, the Warriors 11.
Three tries in the game, 2 of them by the Ospreys in the first half. Well, we say tries. Was this one? Stéphane Terblanche in hot pursuit of his own kick ahead.
No.
Didn't get any downward pressure. Try awarded, though. Second try, more legitimate. Simple interception by the outstanding James Bater. This was his moment of glory. He put in a whole lot of hard work, grafting from the back row. Only 1 try in the second half. It was scored by the Warriors. John Bryant going over. The Warriors winning the second half 5-0, but losing the match 23-11.
Yeah, look at the possession, swing. The Ospreys still had the territory, so they had a lot of possession in their own quarter, really. But I just felt they had to score first, the Warriors, and they did that. But that crucial try was the one just before half-time with Bater. You know, if they'd have gone in half-time, 7 points less against them, that one sort of really put them back in the game. But I thought the Ospreys deserved to win. They dominated, you know, phase play. They dominated possession, and they dominated the territorial game. So well deserved, really.
And they also